What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day. Um, this was something that a lot of people have been waiting for. A lot of people have asked me to do, and I always told people, I said, you know what? In the right time, it's gonna happen, and so I guess this is the time. Um, I guess you could say it's an overview of my life. Why I'm at the place I am today, and the reason or my story behind my life. It all started at the age of 15. I was a completely healthy child. Never had a problem in my life. Never had a sickness. I never went to the hospital. I was always healthy. Um, but it was just a couple days after my 15th birthday when I started feeling these really sharp pains in my sides and my shoulders, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And so a few days later, I got rushed to the emergency room, and they did a couple tests on me, and they said, "Hey, you know what? You're completely fine. Just go back home." And so I went back home, and I was put on these Motrin pills for about 2 weeks. And I was taking these pills, and 2 weeks later, the pains are still there, and it was so bad that I was sitting on my knees with my hands in my head, and it was kind of like in a prayer position. I was sleeping in that position. Everything that I did was I was just kind of in that position all day long, and I went back to the hospital, and they did a whole CAT scan and MRI of my body, and what they found was a 10 centimeter tumor the size of a baseball growing on my liver. Um, Now, when they went in for surgery, they said this is just a routine surgery. We're just going to take a piece of this tumor. We're going to check if it's malignant or benign. And, me being a young 15-year-old kid from Philly, I was kind of hardcore about it. And I said, sure, go ahead, cut me open, no problem. Well, as they went in for surgery to take a piece of the tumor exploded right on contact, and the tumor cells spread all throughout my stomach, all throughout my chest. I come out of surgery, there's 50 staples going up and down my stomach. It's IV tubes, breathing tubes, feeding tubes. I mean, whatever you can think of. I basically woke up to a nightmare. So I woke up, and my initial reaction is just pull all these tubes off of me. I'm waking up to a nightmare. Well, what they found was that 2 weeks later, the doctor comes in my room, and she said, you know what, we tested this tumor, and we found it to be hepatocellular carcinoma, which is a rare form of liver cancer. And at that point, they actually gave me 6 months to live. Now, at the age of 15, I'm sitting there, and I just start weeping. I start crying, and I said, how is this possible? Like, my whole entire life just flashed before my eyes at that point. And at that moment, there was just something that just came over me. As I'm sitting there, as I'm weeping, as I'm just seeing my whole entire life just go by, you know, there was just this peace that came over my body. And the Bible describes it as a peace that passeth all understanding. And so, when this peace came over my body, I believed in God. I went to church because my parents made me. I did what I had to do, um, but I never really had a relationship with God until that point. And when I felt that peace, I kind of turned to the doctors, and I took her by the hand, and I said, listen, I said, I'm going to be okay. And she was like, well, you know what, Stan, that's a great attitude to have. And I said, nah, you don't understand. I said, I'm going to be fine. I said, I am going to be okay. And after that, I went through 4 rounds of chemotherapy. After the fourth round of chemotherapy, they tested my tumors. They tested my tumor cells one more time, and they said, you know what, your tumor markers are still too high. Now, these tumor markers are the markers that they test and see basically how many tumor cells you have inside of your body. It's pretty self-explanatory. But they tested these tumor markers, and they said, you know what, your tumor cells are still too high. And so I got on my knees next to my bed, and I just cried out to God, and I said, God, look, you got to heal me. You got to save me. You got to do something for my situation, God. And after I prayed that prayer, I went through my last round of chemotherapy. Now, remember, each round of chemotherapy, well, chemotherapy itself is basically poison that they put into your body, and it destroys the bad cells, but while it does that, it also destroys a lot of your good cells. So I was actually half the body weight, that I was from when I started. I lost all my hair. My nails got dark. My skin got darker. I had blisters all throughout my mouth. I was just going through an entire body transformation. And finally, at the end of that final round of chemotherapy, after I prayed that prayer, the doctor called me into her office and she said, Stan, she said, I don't know what kind of God you prayed to. I don't know what it is that you did, but your tumor cells have just started to disappear off the charts. And she was like, you're healed. She was like, it's a miracle. She was like, this is amazing. And I had thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world praying for me. Because we have a large family, and they went and told their church family, and they went and told their friends, and the word just spread all throughout. And it's just been an incredible journey. And this month is such a milestone for me because this month, November of 2008, is 10 years since that diagnosis. They gave me 6 months at that point. It's actually been 10 years, and I'm just proud to say, and I'm glad to say that, Jesus Christ healed me. It's God who delivered me, and the Bible says, that by His stripes we are healed, and I'm completely healed. I'm completely healthy. I was taken off the chemotherapy right away. My hair grew back within a matter of a couple months, not even, and it's just been an incredible journey. In these past 10 years, God has just been so faithful and just so amazing to me in my life. And you might be going through something right now where you just look around and your situation looks impossible, where you say, you know what, there is no God. No God exists. I'm here to tell you, I'm looking at you right at your face, and I'm telling you that, you know what, God exists. God is real. It's amazing what He can do through your life if you would just trust in Him. The Bible says, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, then you shall be saved. And what that means is that, if we can just say that, you know what, God, I am a sinner, I've messed up, I've done wrong in my life, you know what, I just want to turn from that. And you have to turn from it. It's not just hey, you know what, right now I just pray this prayer and automatically I go to heaven. No, it's where you say, you know what, God, I want to turn from my sins. I want to turn from the ways that I used to be, and I want to just turn to you. And the same hope and the same peace that Stan is talking about right now, I want to feel that. I want to experience that. You can have that. You can experience it. And I'm telling you, it's just so amazing. It's so real. And give God a chance. He's real. He's amazing. And He can do something in your life. I hope you guys were blessed. Please share my story with anybody and everybody that you wish. And may God bless you. Hope to hear from you soon.